Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. In the immortal words of Bruce Campbell, hail to the king, baby. You're looking at the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore LeBron James limited edition 44mm in a beautiful combination of rose gold and titanium. This watch is one of 600 produced for the 2013 model year and only for the 2013 model year. The bottom line is that this watch has a fantastic backstory based on the career of one of basketball's all-time greats, a legend in his own time and still in his prime. I'm talking about the two-time NBA champ, three-time Olympian, 10-time All-Star, and four-time MVP, LeBron James, and the king is back in court in Cleveland, salvaging a legacy he almost abdicated during the decision era. King James is back where he belongs, and this watch might be exactly where it belongs in your collection. Is it right for you? I don't know. Let's take a look on the wrist and unpack what makes this watch special. Now, 44mm, this is part of the case size and case profile that originally debuted on the Juan Pablo Montoya limited editions back in 2004. The broad 44mm case with the rectangular pushers, it became a class of AP Offshore in its own right in 2011, and in 2013, LeBron, who had already been an AP ambassador for a number of years, officially received his signature edition. Now on the wrist, you can see that it's actually surprisingly refined and subtle for a high-end luxury watch designed with extensive input from a 29-year-old superstar athlete. And when I say that, I'm calling out the Hublot King Power Dwayne Wade. That's a little bit more like what I would have expected. But the Audemars Piguet LeBron James is incredibly restrained, discreet, still a flamboyant expression of the best of luxury watchmaking, but this is good taste to a T. The bottom line is everything about this watch works. Against the skin, the combination of rose gold and titanium tones looks subtle. It looks tasteful, and it is tasteful. On my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. I can just barely pull this off. Now here's the thing. I just reviewed a 50mm Richard Mille RM32, and the fact is, it's important to do the wrist impression because every watch wears differently. Well, this is a 44 because of basically the substance of that square section, not hornback in this case, alligator strap, and the size of that 44mm case. I would say that 6 1/3 is probably the lower limit for what what kind of wrist can accommodate this watch, or what kind of wrist this watch can accommodate. But it is the business. Aesthetically, the combination of rose gold and alternately brushed and polished titanium is stunning. When complemented by that beautiful gray strap with the contrasting golden stitch, it's an absolute knockout, and in Royal Oak Offshore tradition, you can see the expression of that gasket between the bezel and the case, and of course the famed inset 18-karat white gold Royal Oak bezel bolts are present and correct. It does feel good on the wrist, it just feels big. But you know what? If you're LeBron James and you're almost 7 feet tall, I kind of think your watch would have to be big. So the bottom line is that this watch looks the business, and if your wrist can accommodate it, and mine just can. I don't know, some people like to wear their watch a little looser, so if that's you, you might be able to go down to 6-inch wrist with this watch. The dial itself is like the rest of the watch. Perfect. Executed with outstanding discretion. The combination of the traditional Audemars Piguet Royal Oak tapisserie, in this case the mega tapisserie, the larger hobnail or waffle pattern cut, is complemented by applied rose gold, and I should mention they're also finely brushed Arabic numerals, 2 indexes, one at 3, one at 9, or indices for those who have called me out on the channel. The bottom line is that there's just enough color going on this dial to give it a life of its own and really animate it. Very subtle chapter rings about the subdials in gold are nicely complementary to the case, and the hands themselves have only the slightest sliver of lume down their center, which breaks up their visual mass and keeps things light and airy on the dial. The chapter ring is a particular highlight, and I'm going to call it out because it's a concave shape with just a little bit of cantilever to it. That is, it's not actually touching the tapisserie dial, but it swings out and over like a sort of dished awning, and it adds a nice second layer to the dial, above and beyond the numerals in the tapisserie. And of course, you have those shocks of blue. On the chronograph, seconds, minutes, and hours. Why blue? Well, royal blue for the king, no doubt. The bottom line is this watch is the picture of elegance, and for such a huge timepiece, it's rather remarkable that nothing seems over the top, nothing is overwrought, and that theme continues as you move along the case flanks. Now, as with all of the latest 44mm Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks, the pushers themselves, as well as the crown shoulders, are made of almost completely indelible ceramic, and it provides a nice measure of protection to this side of the case. Inset on the chronograph stop-start actuator, 14 brilliant cut diamonds. Again, subtlety is a hallmark of this limited edition. Well done, AP, well done, LeBron. It's said that of the limited edition namesakes, LeBron James was one of the most hands-on and most involved in the design of the watch bearing his name, and if that's truly the case, I've really got to give props to him. He's got a career in watchmaking after basketball. But the man remains in his prime, and at the moment, nowhere near retirement. The imprimatur of LeBron James is blazoned on this caseback. This is an Audemars Piguet in-house chronograph with base movement with module by Dubois de Praz. Now, the base movement is based on the 3120. In this case, it's the 3126 base movement. Automatic winding, 55-hour power reserve, ceramic bearings on the winding rotor. Bidirectional winding, it's supremely smooth. You want bidirectional winding for ultimate refinement because although not quite as efficient as unidirectional, the wheel will not freewheel in either direction. A unidirectional system will freewheel in the unloaded, non-winding direction. It can create a little bit of a rattle and a wobble on the wrist. Some are willing to sacrifice that refinement for smoothness, but in the case of something from a big three Holy Trinity watchmaker, along with Patek and Vacheron, this Audemars Piguet definitely does right by LeBron and right by AP's reputation going with bidirectional winding. Also features a full balance bridge and a fixed regulator so that it can't be displaced by shock or vibration. Very rugged. It's what you expect of a sports watch. It's what you expect in the era of manufacture movements in Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshores. Now, the watch is a fantastic mechanical and aesthetic accomplishment, an artistic statement, a memorable limited edition. I think it's destined to go down with the Montoyas, the Barrichello 2s, the End of Days as some of the best remembered and most coveted Royal Oak Offshore limited editions. Again, with the signature of LeBron James on the back and his design influence evident throughout, you really can't say that this watch won't be inextricably linked to him. And just think about how many people have paid outrageous sums for Space Jam memorabilia on eBay solely by the virtue of Michael Jordan's association with it. Unlike Space Jam, this watch doesn't stink. In fact, it's phenomenal. Its quality speaks for itself without any links to LeBron James, his legacy, or NBA basketball. This would be one of the finest Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore limited editions. An aesthetic triumph in every respect. It splits the difference between flamboyance and discretion, and that is a fine line to walk. Add the fact that LeBron James had personal input, that this is one of only 600 made, and that he's destined to go into the Basketball Hall of Fame as one of, if not the greatest of all time. And you've got a perfect storm of hardcore sports memorabilia and a hardcore haute de gamme high horology collector's piece. The best of both worlds, truly. See it with comprehensive factory accessories and commemorative edition accessories on our website, Watch You Want. If you're into basketball, if you're into LeBron, if you're into high-end watchmaking, or you just want the best of what Audemars Piguet has to offer, you owe it to yourself to check out this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore LeBron James limited edition on our website, Watch You Want.